We continue now at the top of Daf Yomi Gemara and Meseches Gittin. This is Gittin Daf 5b. On the previous summit, the Gemara brought a Tosefta which said that if the Shliach who delivers the get did not get a chance to say B'fanei Nechtam, so then Yiskayim B'chosmav, you can certify it. And then the Tosefta adds that that's because the entire reason of B'fanei is really just a leniency, that you can rely on just the one Shliach instead of having to have two witnesses certify the signatures. So obviously, if the Shliach doesn't say B'fanei, but you have two witnesses certifying the signatures, obviously everything is going to be fine. And the Gemara says that Tosefta works according to Rava because the entire purpose of B'fanai is in fact just to certify the signatures. But according to Rabbah, there's an additional factor, an additional reason, and that is the issue of Lishma. And so the Gemara says that according to Rabbah, we'll say that in the Tosefta, the case is she already remarried with this get. And that's why we're not going to be machmer on her in this situation, and we're going to allow her to stay married. But the Gemara says, but if that's true, so it's not really that we're lenient, because it's not really that B'fanai is a leniency. The real reason we're being lenient is because she already got married. And so the Gemara says, well, that's actually what the Tosefta means. The Tosefta means we're not so machmir to say that once she already got married, we're going to force her to divorce. And now the Gemara continues to elaborate on that point. Because what's the whole reason why the Shliach says B'fanai? It's all because of the possibility maybe the husband will come and protest and disqualify it. Hashta balo kama'ar. Now, in this case where she's already remarried, the husband hasn't yet protested, anon nekam una'arela, do you think we're going to get up and protest? We're not going to make her divorce for that reason. And Rashi explains, Taimamai dil ma'asi bal ma'ar, the Taimamai amar rabbanon deboy l'meimar, because what's the reason why the rabbanon say that it's required to say b'fanei nechdam dil ma'asi bal ma'ar, because maybe the husband will come protest. Hilkachim lo nisas, therefore, if she hasn't yet gotten remarried, lo tinase, so we wouldn't let her get married if there was no b'fanei. Aval hashta the nisas, but now that she's already been remarried, amai lifka, why would we force her to divorce? Akati lo asi bal ma'ar, anon nekam una'ar, the husband still hasn't come and protested, and we're going to get up and protest, so that will not make sense. And the Gemara continues, Beplugsa de Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi. This machlokus between Rab and Rav is also machlokus between Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi. Chad Amar Lefishein Bekin Lishma. One says the reason for B'fanei Nechdam is because of Lishma, because of Medina Sayyam, they're not experts in Lishma. V'chad Amar Lefishein Eidim Mitzuin L'Kaimon. And one says that the reason is because there are no Eidim around to certify it, and that's why B'fanai is needed. And the Gemara says, "Tistam Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi who damar lefishein bekiin lishma." Let us conclude that it's Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi who says that the reason is lishma. The Rabbi Shimon bar Abba aisi gita lekami Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi, because Rabbi Shimon bar Abba brought a get in front of Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi. V'yamar leni setem tzrichno lememar fanei nechtam olo. He said, "Do I need to say fanei nechtav or fanei nechtam or not?" Amar lei setem lo tzrich. You don't need to say it. Lo amru el bedoros harishonim she'ein bekiin lishma. The requirement was only in the early generations where there was an issue that they weren't experts in the halacha of lishma. Aval bedoros ha'achronim, but in these later generations, the bekiin lishma, where we're experts in lishma, lo, so there's no requirement to say it. And the Gemara says, Testayim, indeed, you can conclude from here that Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi says the reason is lishma. But the Gemara asks, V'tizra, but is this logical? V'arabba islay the Rava. We said earlier, the Rava agrees with the Rava. Everyone agrees with the reason of kiyam, so it's not just lishma that's the issue. There's certainly another factor that makes the shliach have to say fanei nechtam. V'yod, and further, hamrin and shami yachzor davar l'kalkula. And furthermore, even within lishma, we said even though everyone's learned, there's a gezerah that maybe things will go back to the way they were, and so there's still a concern of lishma regardless. And so the Gemara answers to that, Rabbi Shimon bar Abba inish achrina hava b'hadei. Rather, what happened was Rabbi Shimon bar Abba had someone else with him. There were actually two people delivering this get, and we said that when you have two people delivering the get, so that's already a situation where we don't have the concern of certification because you have two people there, and we also do not have the concern about shamiach or davar l'kalkulo because it's a milsa de lo shlicha, and that's why there was no requirement of b'fanei nechtav or b'fanei nechtam. And the only reason why this other person wasn't included in the story, mishum kavoda de Rabbi Shimon, that's because of the honor of Rabbi Shimon. And Rashi says, Hava b'hadei, there was another person with him. We said earlier, Beitrei de Maisu Gita Milsa de lo Shlicha. Again, like we said, two people deliver a get, it's not common, and so therefore there's no concern that things will go back to the way they were, and of course also there's no concern about certification. And the Gemara continues at the two dots. Itmar, we have the following machlokas amoroim. B'fnei kama nos no la. In front of how many people does the shliach give her the get? Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Chanina. It's a machlokas between Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Chanina. Chad amar b'fnei shnayim, v'chad amar b'fnei shlosha. One says in front of two people, and one says in front of three people. And the Gemara says, Tistayim the Rabbi Yochanan who damar b'fnei shnayim. Let us conclude that Rabbi Yochanan is the one who says that it's in front of two people. The Ravin bar Rav Chisda aisi gita lakami the Rabbi Yochanan, because Ravin bar Rav Chisda brought a get in front of Rabbi Yochanan. V'yomar leini said to him, Zil havla ba'ab betray. Go give it to her in front of two people. V'yemalu b'fanei nechtam, and say b'fanei nechtam. And the Gemara says, Testayim, indeed, you can conclude it from there because it says explicitly it was two people. And the Gemara says, Lema b'ha kamifligi. Let's say that the machlokes is about the following issue. That the one who says that you give it in front of two people, that's because the reason for b'fanei nechdam is because of lishma. And the one who says it's in front of three people, that man damar holds that the reason for b'fanei nechdam is because of the fact that we don't have edim who are around to certify the get. And Rashi says, in other words, if it's just an issue of lishma, you only need to give it in front of two people. There'll be witnesses that the shliach said b'fanai. Now if the husband comes to protest, we won't pay attention to him. And the other one says, because it's really an issue of certification, when you're doing certification of a shtar, you require a bezdin, you require three people. Like it says in Ksubas in the second parak, the kiyum shtaros is done in front of three people. So let us suggest that that is the machlokas over here. But the Gemara continues, V'tizbra, but is that a logical explanation? But we said earlier that Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi was the one who holds that the reason is lishma, and therefore we can infer, because there was a machlokas, Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi and Rabbi Yochanan, we can infer that Rabbi Yochanan Amar, Lefisha ein edim mitzuin l'kaimo, that Rabbi Yochanan is the one who says that the reason is Lefisha ein edim mitzuin l'kaimo, and so therefore, if you're going to say that if it's ein edim mitzuin l'kaimo, you need three people, so it would turn out that Rabbi Yochanan would actually be the one who requires three people, and we just said above that Rabbi Yochanan's the one who requires two people. That was the story that we brought above. So over here, how could Rabbi Yochanan say that it's in front of two people? So it can't be that Rabbi Yochanan holds both the reason of ein edim mitzuin l'kaimo and the shliach only says b'fanai in front of two people if those two issues are related. V'yoden further, harabba islay de Rava. Rava holds like Rava anyway, so everyone agrees with edim mitzuin l'kaimo, and if edim mitzuin l'kaimo means you need three people, then everyone would agree that you need three people. So Ella, rather, the Gemara says the kuli alma ba'inun edim mitzuin l'kaimo. Everybody agrees. Certainly, at least one of the reasons you say b'fanai is because of edim mitzuin l'kaimo. V'acha b'shliach nasa eid v'eid nasa dayan kamifli. And here the machlokas is whether a shliach becomes an aid and whether an aid can become a judge. And the Gemara explains, Man Damar b'fnei Shnaim, the one who says in front of two people, Kasavar shliach nasa eid ve'eid nasa dayan. He holds that a shliach can be counted as an aid and an aid can be counted as a judge. And so therefore you have the two people plus the shliach. You actually do have a bezin of three. Uman Damar b'fnei Gimel, but the one who says in front of three people, Kasavar shliach nasa eid. So he does hold the shliach can count as a witness. However, ve'ein eid nasa dayan. But a witness is not able to become a judge, and so therefore you need three people because the shliach cannot count as one of the judges. But the Gemara says one second, but don't we hold that when it's issues that are only midrabanan, like over here, b'fanai is an issue midrabanan, that aid is nasadayin, and so therefore everyone should agree you only need two people. And the Gemara says instead, rather what they're arguing about is as follows: the Marasavar came in the isha ksher lahavias aged. One holds that since a woman is kosher to deliver a get, zimnin demaisi le'itasav esamchi Allah. Sometimes you have a situation where a woman's going to deliver the get, and then they'll rely on her. And of course, the woman would not be able to be a judge. You would need three people there. There could be confusion. V'idach, and the other opinion says, Isha meidayadi v'lo samchi Allah. Isha, people are going to realize that she can't be a judge, and everyone's going to know we need three people. And Rashi explains, B'shliach nasa eid ve'eid nasa dayan kamiflagi. They're arguing about whether shliach could be an aid and an aid could be a judge. Kilomer, what that means to say is, Iyamrinan, if we say, Ki heyechi de shliach nasa eid, just like a shliach is nasa eid, that everybody agrees that a shliach could count as an aid. But the question is, Hachanami eid nasa dayan kamiflagi. Do we also say Eid Nasa Dayan? And that again, that's exactly the machlokas between the two sides. But then the Gemara says, no, doesn't everybody agree that Eid Nasa Dayan in a situation of a Derabanan? And so again, the Gemara said the real machlokas is whether we are concerned for the fact that if a woman were to deliver a get, obviously there you need three people. So do we say that we always require three people by B'fanai Nechtav or B'fanai Nechtam? And the Gemara continues, Tanya Kavasi de Rav Yochanan, we learned in a brayso like Rav Yochanan that the shliach says B'fanai Nechtam in front of two people. Hamevi get me Medina Sayyam v'nasnu la v'lo amar la B'fanai Nechtam. It says if a person delivers a get from Medina Sayyam and he gives it to her and he doesn't say B'fanai Nechtam, Yotzi v'avlad mamzer divrei Rav Meir. So she's forced a divorce that is not considered a good divorce, and if she remarries with that get, it's not kosher. And any children she has is going to be considered, any child she has is going to be considered a mamzer according to Rav Meir. The Chachamim Chachamim say no, the child is not a mamzer. Keitzad Yasa, what should be done? Yitzalenu heimenu, take the get back from her. V'yachzor v'yitananullah, then give it to her again. Bifnei shnayim, in front of two people. There we see clearly, like Rabbi Yochanan, that it's done in front of two people. V'yomer, and then he should say b'fanei nechta, fanei nechtam. He should say b'fanei nechta, fanei nechtam. But the Gemara asks, Reb Meir mishum de lo amar fanei nechtam yotzi v'avlad mamzer. According to Reb Meir, just because the shliach didn't say b'fanei nechtam, that's a reason that she has to divorce and the child's a mamzer. And to that the Gemara says, yes, Rabbi Meir l'taimi, Rabbi Meir follows his opinion. The Amar Rav Hamnuna mishmei de Ula, because Rav Hamnuna said in the name of Ula, Omer haya Reb Meir would say, Kol ha-mishanim mimatveh shetavu chachamim begittin yotzi v'avlad mamzer. Anybody who changes from the formulation that the chachamim set up when it came to situations of gittin, so that we force the divorce and the child is a mamzer. And the Gemara continues, Bar Hedya boy leisuye gita. Bar Hedya, he wanted to bring a get, he wanted to deliver a get. Asal Akami Rabbi Achi came before Rabbi Achi, Dahavememuna Gita. He was appointed over, he was like a judge over situations of Gittin. Rashi says, Asal Akami Rabbi Achi Ba'oso Ir Shayukosvenoso, meaning in that very city they were writing the get. Memuna Agiti, he was appointed over Gittin. The Kaimulan Kol Sheino Yodea Betiv Gittin V'Kiddushin, because we've established that if a person doesn't know with an expertise the halachas of Gittin and Kiddushin, Lo Yelo Esek Yimon, shouldn't deal with them. V'avem Mimenu Gavarabba Lo Ruya Hechi Navid, and so therefore you have to appoint someone. You have to be mimnu gaver rabbi. You have to appoint someone who knows the halachas in order to explain, in order to issue rulings regarding gittin. So again, Bar Hedya wanted to bring this get, and he came to Rav Achi. Amar Lei said to him, Tzarachat halamod al kol os v'os. You have to stand over every single letter that's written. In other words, if you want to deliver a get, you want to say b'fanei nechtam, you have to stand over every letter that's written to be able to say, in front of me it was written, in front of me it was signed. Also, Rabbi Ami for Rabbi Asi. So then he came before Rabbi Ami and Rabbi Asi. Amri they said to him, Lotzrich, that's not necessary. Now he says, if you're going to say that I should be machmir, because there is one opinion that you should be so machmir, Nimtza Tov Motzilaz, I'll get in Harishonim. On the contrary, if we're going to rule like them and be very machmir, then it's going to come out, you're going to put out false rumors on the earlier gittin. People will say that the earlier gittin are no good. And the Gemara continues, Rava Babrachana, I see Gita Palga Ichtav Kamei, Palga Lo Ichtav Kamei. Rava Babrachana, he brought a get, half of it was written in front of him, and half of it was not written in front of him. Also Lakami Rebbe Lozer, he came before Rebbe Lozer. Amar Lei said to him, Afil Lo Kasabo Leshita Achas Lishma, even if just one of the lines is written Lishma, so Shoveno Tzarech, nothing more is needed. Tosas explain, Afilu lo kasabo l'shita achas perishalo ra l'shita rishona, meaning if all he saw was that first line and he saw that was lishma, so the mistama saimu lishma, mistama got finished off and was done lishma, that's good enough. Rav Ashi says, and we will continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Vav Amud Aleph.